Hi everybody, Ryan and Jen, we're down on the beach in Jacksonville, Florida. So we're enjoying a couple of days. We're working with clients down here midweek, but we're enjoying the beach. So I want to bring you a thought. We're talking a lot about process and performance, results. So let's try to, create some, we call it common language in our group. So all of us are after performance results. So that's simple. So if I'm a worker, I've got to get some things done. If I'm a leader, I've got to get other things done. And as an NHL player, I had results that I had to drive that were mine specific. And then, from a team point of view, we had results we had to create. So that's simple. Everybody has performance results. But really, if you think about what we've talked about in these times together, it's to focus not on the end result, you know what you want, but to focus on the performance process that gives you the result. And really the differentiator between great leaders and leaders that struggle is that leaders that struggle often push their people to focus on performance results. Hey, our sales are down this quarter, but without sort of generating the performance process that allows them to get better sales. So every great coach I've ever had has pushed me from results, results thinking. Here it is at the NHL level. I haven't scored a goal in 10 games. Negative results to positive performance. Here's what to do. Here's the process to increase the performance. So we want to add a bit of a layer, because here's what we've been thinking lately. Many people say that practice equals, better results, and they're right. We're going to talk about that. Other people say that perfect practice equals perfect results, and they're right. You can't practice wrong and hope to get something right. But let's just be a contrarian and add a layer, and that is that the performance practice that's perfect is still not enough. You see, you need to automate that, and we call it action automatics. So really what has to happen is that the performance process needs to get automated into our subconscious so that we do it automatically. We call it action automatic. So the action automatics of our performance process is the key. So let me give you 4 little ideas. I guess they're big ideas on how to generate action automatics that will turn your thinking into an automated process. The first is you got to take action. It's interesting. At the end of the day, every great coach that I've ever had, every great CEO that I've ever been with, focuses our process on a few things that we become really good at. With the Montreal Canadiens, we were called a trap team in the 80s. We weren't a trap team. I mean, you can call us a trap team if you want to, but we focused on one piece that gave us the exact thing, the outcome, the process, and the results that we wanted. And here it is. We called it stick on puck. So instead of running down at the defenseman that has the puck on, who's our opponent, straight at them to get a big hit, we would have an inside-out angle. We would take away passing options, and we would get our stick in the way of their puck. So in other words, we'd take away their passing options because we'd have a stick on puck, and they'd have no option. After that, we could finish the check. Leaders, very few people know that was the skill that became an action automatic that won us the Stanley Cup in 1986. So to start with, the first idea around reps, you got to get your reps in, is it has to be practiced over and over and over and over. Number 2 is that our language needs to align with our action. Can you imagine if I was selling, and we all sell, and I kept saying to myself, I just can't sell. I am brutal at selling. I just don't think I can do this. And then I practice a whole bunch, right? That's going to slow down my reps. So the language that we have internally and externally needs to align with the reps and the action automatics that we're trying to generate. Pat Quinn, my great coach, and he passed too early, said this. He said, Ryan, coaches don't leave the room. Don't lose the room. You know what that means, right? Is that the players start or stop listening to the coach and the coach loses the room. He said, Ryan, coaches don't lose the room. He said, players start listening to a new voice. Let's internalize that today. What voice are you listening to? Right? Are you listening to the right voice? And can we align the action that we're going to practice with the language that is so important that often directs that language? So number 3, how do we get our reps in? First is action, second is language, the third is pictures. We need visuals, right? One of the great ways, instead of doing, we can think. Instead of doing, we can, right? Some call it meditation. Others call it focus, but you need to focus your mind on the pictures or the visuals that will help support your action automatics. And finally, number 4 is, I'm going to call it breakaway. We need to break into our conscious thinking and have a breakaway towards the action automatics that we want. We have built a little process where we actually have an auto text that can break into your day and break you away to a new thought. I'll give you an example of how it's worked with me. I have struggled flossing teeth for 55 years. Finally, with this little tool that emails me every night at 7 p.m. Automatically, and it says, Ryan, did you do your best to floss your teeth today? And I have to go 1, not so good, 10, really good. That little breakaway, that little break-in that breaks me away to focus me on the action that I want to automate is a brilliant part of getting my reps in. There's how you get your reps in. We'll talk lots more about that. Good job. Think about those 4 processes. Number 1, action, right? Number 2, language. Got to align the language. Number 3, have the right pictures in our brain. And number 4, break away from our conscious thought and break in so that we can have the action automated as many times as possible.